guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day. I am back to bring another designer shoe review to you guys. So I've been going through the comments in some of my recent videos and I have been getting some feedback that I speak really fast. Yes, I know that I do. I've been told this many times in my life and I do apologize. It's just the way that I speak. So I will try to speak a little bit slower for you guys, but I just hope you understand it's just mannerisms and how I speak in general, and also that my audio has been really choppy up and down between when I speak and when I show you outfits. So I'm hoping to really equalize between the noise of the music for the outfits versus when I speak, so that's a little bit easier for you to listen to, especially if you're listening at nighttime and you don't want to wake and disturb others or get a shock when the music comes on really loud on your screen. So don't worry, I'm trying to fix that. Been fiddling around with the settings on my mic, and hopefully with this video it's going to be a little bit smoother. My audio when I speak is going to be a little bit louder and the music itself is going to be a little bit quieter. So in the end, the goal is to make sure that all the sound is balanced out nice and smoothly for your listening pleasure. But without further ado, let's jump right into today's video, which is going to be another designer shoe review. If you guys are already subscribed to my channel and you watch my Portugal vlog, then you'll have seen that I purchased the Hermes Oran slides back then on my trip. These are the ones that I got. They're, ooh, I can't even hold them up. It's these beautiful white ones. And I've worn them the entire summer, so I feel like it's safe to say now that I have a good enough grasp on how the shoes feel and their fit and whether or not I would recommend them to give you guys a decent review. So first things first, we're going to chat a little bit about the purchasing experience. I walked into the Hermes in Portugal not really expecting to purchase these just because I didn't really have high expectations for shopping in Portugal. When I went about 2 years ago, I realized that Portugal is not really a shopping destination for tourists. It's much more of a food, lifestyle, entertainment, and atmospheric destination. And I couldn't agree more. The people there are wonderful. The food is amazing. And it's just the scene and the atmosphere and the beaches. Everything is just lovely there. So when you go there, don't expect to do a lot of luxury shopping. Granted though, you definitely can do some luxury shopping and there are some stores there. There's a Louis Vuitton, there's an Hermes, but there's not a lot of freestanding designer stores there for you to really pilfer through. You're not going to find Chanel and Dior standalone stores. You might have some items here and there inside other stores, but I wouldn't expect going to Portugal specifically to buy designer items. So it kind of ended up being a surprise to me when I walked into Hermes and ended up purchasing these slides. These have been on my, I guess, designer checklist for quite a while now. I think they look beautiful, stunning, very simple, and definitely can be worn year over year. Especially with Hermes's quality and craftsmanship, I can definitely see these shoes withstanding the test of time and lasting a long time. Now, when I walked in, they only had, I believe, 1 or 2 pairs of this specific white one left in stock. They have a variety of different styles. They have this in like black, tan, they have them in different materials. There's like sequins, croc, fluorescent neon colors. None of those really spoke to me, and because this is my first ever pair of Hermes shoes, I wanted to make sure I was going with the classic style and color that I knew I'd be able to use over and over again without feeling down the road, maybe 2 years from now, that I regretted that decision. So we went with the white. I actually tried on the beautiful tan shade that everybody raves about, and I actually found that it didn't really suit my skin tone. I have a very dark tanned olive complexion, so whenever I wear brown colors, sometimes it either melts into my skin tone and it looks like I'm wearing nothing at all, or it just doesn't complement my skin tone well. So if you have a similar complexion to me, I would probably avoid the tan shade. You can definitely try them on, and I highly recommend that you do so you can see whether or not you really like them, but I just found that for myself, that shade did not really mesh well with my skin tone, so I kind of strayed away from it. And I got it out of my system once I tried it on, so I don't feel like I really missed out on that opportunity. I also tried on the black slides, and they did look wonderful on my feet, but after I thought about it for a little bit, I actually realized that I have a lot of black shoes, which is why I actually strayed away from getting the black, because I wanted something a little bit different in my collection that I don't typically have. Granted, I do have a lot of white shoes, but I don't have white slides, which is why I ended up gravitating towards these white ones. White has been high on my bucket list after I've seen it online quite a bit and on other girls styled with other really beautiful summer outfits. And white is a really great shade to wear in the summertime because it really helps to make your tan pop, especially if you're somebody who likes to spend a lot of time outdoors, and through the summer you're going to develop a really nice tan. For some reason this summer, or this year alone, I spent a lot of time outdoors and in destinations that had quite a bit of sun, so I've developed quite a decent tan. So this white was beautiful against my feet and skin tone, and I immediately gravitated towards it as soon as I tried them on. Something I do want to keep in mind if you're shopping Hermes in Portugal is that they don't get frequent shipments, so you're gonna have to deal with only what they have available 1 week at a time. I probably should have gone into the store at the beginning of our trip just to see what they had available, and then given myself enough time till the end of the week so that I'd be able to come back in and see what the new shipment had for us. Fortunately, that didn't happen. We actually wanted it on the second last day or the last day before we left, so I only had really slim options to pick from. Surprisingly, when I tried them on, the sizes are not too out there. So we're going to move on to aspect number 2, which is sizing. And I actually got these slides in a size 35 and a half. For reference, my shoe size is anywhere typically from a 5.5 to a 6 when it comes to North American sizing, and I gravitate anywhere between 35 to 37 in European sizing. Now, it really depends on the designer and the brand and the type of shoe that you're getting, especially the material, but I found that this one I actually fit pretty well in anywhere between a 35 all the way to a 36. I tried on these Oran sandals in a variety of different sizes and colors as well, and the sales associate did tell me that some specific materials stretch a little bit more than others. For example, this is leather, just plain regular leather. This is going to stretch a little bit more than patent. Also going to stretch a little bit more than croc. So if you're going to size down and get a tighter fit, then I would highly recommend doing that in a leather material shoe as opposed to one of the thicker materials like patent or croc. When I tried on the size 36 in a different color, in the brown actually, that one fit me really, really nicely. Unfortunately, the white ones did not come in a 36. The next smallest size that they had available was a 35.5. They also didn't have a 36.5, so I wasn't able to try it on to see for comparison-wise as to whether or not it would fit me better or too big compared to the 36. And surprisingly, when I put on the 35.5, there wasn't that big of a difference between the 35.5 and a 36. Their half sizes are not that crazily off, so if you are really stuck in between sizing and you're not too sure which one you want to get, I would recommend you can go half a size down or even half a size up. You're not going to have that big of an issue if your feet sliding or feeling too tight inside the shoes. For example, these are the exact same size. Don't freak out, guys. If this was a 35.5, a 36 would literally be like this much more. And when I wear the 35.5, I don't notice my heels hanging off the ledge anyways. So I felt pretty comfortable when I put them on. Now we're going to move on to beyond just the size of the shoes, but also the fit of the shoes for aspect number 3. So about the fit of the shoes, these ones are a tiny bit tighter than the 36, which is ideally what I would have gotten had they had the white in that size. Unfortunately they didn't, so I got the 35.5. They are a little tight, but because of the way the shoe is designed, I'm just going to hold one up so it's easy for you guys to see. It's an H here, obviously, is the Hermes logo, but the holes here on either side of their feet actually fit perfectly for myself, for my bone joints to kind of stick out of here and out of there. So when I actually put the shoes on and I slide them on, it's not too tight around the edge of my feet where it typically starts to hurt and create blisters when I'm wearing shoes that are too tight. So granted, for myself, this is extremely comfortable because I didn't feel like my feet were always constantly being pushed along the edge of the band right here. It's a little bit tighter up here and a little bit tighter down here, but at the same time, there's a cut right here for the H and a cut up here as well for the H, and it allows the bottoms to really stretch out. So overall, it's actually an extremely comfortable fit, and even though I sized down by a half size, I didn't notice that much of a difference in regards to the tightness of the overall band up here compared to the 36. So if you are unsure or on the fence in regards to sizing, don't worry too much about the fit. It's going to be quite comfortable, and I have yet to create any blisters on my feet wearing these shoes. So now we're going to chat a little bit more about the fit in the overall shoe itself. Like I said, I went down a half size and it still fit me pretty well from top to bottom here. The one thing that I did notice is every once in a while, if my shoe comes a little bit loose on my foot, then the heel falls off the back base a little bit, and if you walk just in the right position, you can kind of land on the hard base and it hurts a little bit. Not the biggest problem for me, just because that very infrequently happens, like maybe once in a whole week, but it is something I want you guys to be able to keep in mind if you are purchasing these shoes and you're unable to find your specific size that you're looking for with the correct color. We'll move on to aspect number 4, which is the overall care of the shoe. Now, I love, love, love white, but in hindsight, I probably should have seen this happening before I even purchased the shoe. You guys know how white is. It gets dirty so easily, whether it's like a jacket, a sweater, pants, underwear, shoes in general, white just gets easy. And that's just because it's the way white works. Brightest color out there, well, not color, it's a shade, and obviously it's going to attract dust with wear and tear. So the exact same thing goes for these shoes. I'm able to actually keep the surface of the band relatively clean, and I do make an effort to wipe them down every single time I come back from going outside and wearing them. But the one part of the shoe that I find very difficult to keep clean is actually the base here where your feet go in. It's kind of disgusting, and I saved it specifically to show you guys so you can see exactly what I mean. So please don't hate this. If you're disgusted by shoes and feet, I would recommend skipping over this a little bit because this may gross you out. But I'm hoping that you guys can see this. Right up here, there's dirt print marks from my toes, from wearing these and trekking just like, I don't know, body moisture, sweat, dirt from the house onto the shoes themselves. So that's something I would definitely consider before purchasing the shade as to whether or not you can deal with how dirty the shoes look. Yes, you can definitely wipe them down with a clean cloth and some cleaning agents, but over time it's going to start to slowly patina and get like a dirtier and dirtier shade, I guess, to your shoes, just due to the nature of the color. They're white. So beyond the color, let's talk a little bit about the sole of the shoes. So the sole of the shoes are actually all leather all the way down, Looks a little bit different right now, but I'll touch base on why. So the bottom here is leather and the top also goes leather all the way around. When you first receive the shoe, it is completely smooth, just like this area right here, so you're definitely going to slip and slide a little bit. I did wear them out onto the sidewalk near where my house is to kind of test it out and see how it would fare on the road, and it was perfectly fine. Walking on the sidewalk for a little bit, I scuffed up the base of the shoes and I started to develop more of a grip as I wore it out and about a little bit more. But my preference is to actually take all of my designer shoes into my local cobbler every single time I buy them to give them a nice rubber sole treatment. That way, not only am I protecting the shoes, but I'm protecting myself as well. So what I've done is I've actually gone in and got a sole put onto here, so this gives me more grip onto the floor, so I'm not risking ever the chance or the slightest possibility of myself slipping, because I do not have the best feet. I sprain my ankles all the time, and I do not need more weakened ankles in this life. I'm not 80 yet. I still have many years to go, and I want to make sure I don't have arthritis in my legs when I get old. But also at the same time, it protects the shoe too. So what this does is this actually prevents the sole of the shoe itself from wearing down, because obviously with wear and tear over time, your shoes are going to get damaged. And as they get damaged, you're going to have to get them repaired anyways. So I give it a little bit of a preemptive measure by getting it soled on to not only give myself protection, but the shoe protection. And then you can always bring it back into your cobbler once this sole wears down, have them peel it off, and put a brand new one back on. I've done this to so many of my shoes, and actually they use such a high quality sole that I've never yet had to replace any of the soles on my shoes just quite yet. I'll definitely touch base on that at a later date and kind of give you guys a review as to how I maintain overall all of my designer shoes and how these have held up after I've worn them down for quite a few years, and whether or not I've actually had to replace any of them. But so far, not a single one of my designer shoes I've ever purchased and gotten sold have I had to replace the soles just quite yet. And I think I've sold at least 10 to 20 pairs of shoes so far. So I've spent quite a decent amount of money protecting all of my designer shoes, which I highly recommend to you guys, because your shoes are investments, and you want to make sure you're taking care of your investments. That kind of wraps up aspect number 4 of the shoe. We're going to chat a little bit to aspect number 5, the versatility of the shoe overall. So like I said, white is a super versatile color. It can match with any white outfit, any other colored outfit in summer, and especially looks beautiful with a nice summer tan. This is primarily why I picked this white color. I do love the shoes enough, but I haven't worn them enough to decide whether or not I want to constantly invest in getting a different pattern or shade or style in the future. I do like that these flats also come in a heel version, so if you want to dress your version for like attending summer weddings, you can definitely grab those. Gives you a little bit more added height, exact same cut and color and feel and overall style. So if you are familiar with these slides, then you'll know that the ones with the heels are a safe bet for you to invest in. I love these shoes. I've literally worn them with jeans, summer dresses, shorts, skirts, anything that you can think of when it comes to a summer outfit. You can definitely pair these shoes together with them. I think it's safe to say I don't think I've created a single outfit where I didn't like how it matched together with the shoes. So if that speaks volumes and how versatile the shoes is, then hopefully I've convinced you that I love these shoes truly. So moving on to aspect number 6, which is the price point. And yes, we're gonna chat a little bit about that because I like to be as transparent and as honest with you guys as possible. These are not cheap shoes. I believe in Canada they're almost like $800 Canadian pre-tax, and after tax it pushes almost $900, which is really, really expensive for a pair of slides, because they are a very beautifully designed, timeless pair of shoes that you can definitely wear for a long time. So if you have the money to invest in it, then I would highly recommend it. I know some people who developed an entire collection of these Hermes sandals just because it matches with every outfit. So hope that helps you to determine whether or not these are a good and worthwhile investment for yourself. But if you do have the money to spend on them, then I would recommend it. I would also recommend, if you can, to get them overseas while you're traveling in Europe so that you can cut back on the import taxes and duties. Obviously, you're not going to save as much as a bag, because if you're spending that much more, then you save that much more. These are under $1,000. And typically when you travel, I don't think I've seen these convert back to more any less than maybe like $650 or $700 max Canadian. Granted, it doesn't seem like you're saving a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, you're still saving anywhere from $100 to like $200. And I think any money saved is better than no money saved at all. So if you can travel and pick up these shoes, definitely look into it. I wouldn't recommend necessarily getting them here in Canada. You don't need to. That's the overall review of my shoe. As you can tell, I actually really, really like these. I was surprised because I found so many conflicting reviews online. There was one camp that said they absolutely loved it, and another camp that said they absolutely hated these shoes. People who loved it said they were so comfortable, and the people who hated it said it pinched their feet and gave them insane blisters. So I think it's definitely a shoe that's not necessarily designed for everybody, for the masses. It's either going to fit you or it's not going to fit you, so you're going to have to take your chances and see. Highly recommend trying them on in-store before purchasing them though. These are not shoes that I think I would ever be comfortable with purchasing online, having them shipped directly to my house, just due to the nature of the division between the two parties as to whether or not people love or hate them. I would recommend trying them out for yourself so you can see whether or not it is comfortable for yourself. And do play around with different sizes and textures. Just keep in mind that some materials may stretch and some others won't. So if you're going for a thicker material such as patent or crop, then maybe go for a size that's a little bit more suited for your feet, or a half size larger, so that over time your feet do not get blisters and don't feel pinched when you're wearing them. I do know that in the summertime my feet kind of swell a little bit, so that was a factor of whether or not I would go with that material or just a plain leather. If your feet do swell too, then keep in mind that they may swell along with the size of the shoes that you're currently wearing. And when you're in store, you're relative room temperature. You're not outside in humidex where it's like 40+ degrees, so you're not going to be able to really tell if you're wearing these shoes outside for 4 or 5 hours at a time walking around whether or not they're going to blister you by the end of the day. So be very conscious when you're trying on these shoes and just make sure you have the right size. Other than that, I think you guys gathered from this that I love the shoes. I would recommend them for anybody out there who's interested in purchasing them. I have no regrets. Just make sure you guys try them on, and if you can do what I do, get them sold as well so that you're taking good care of your slides that you're investing in, because these are not cheap slides and you want them to last a long time. My rule of thumb is if I can get $1 per wear, then I think that was a really good investment on my end. Obviously, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get up to like 800 wears on these shoes, and I'm not really counting, but if these shoes last me 3 to 5 years, then I feel like that kind of equates up to how much I spent on them. So yeah, that was just my 2 cents on shoes that are not worth 2 cents. Wow, the juxtaposition of that. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for coming back and watching my videos. Make sure to subscribe if you guys like my videos, and also click on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time I upload a brand new video, which is typically Thursdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for everybody who's already subscribed. It has been a joy. I just realized that it's almost been a full year since I've been doing YouTube full time along with my blog and Instagram, and it's been such a fun ride so far. I've learned so much about editing, creating videos and content that I don't regret a single moment of it, and I can't wait to bring more content for you guys in the next year. And I've learned so much, and I definitely hope to increase and up the quality of my videos at least, so that they're more enjoyable for you guys to watch and enjoyable for me to create as well. So thanks for everybody who stuck around with me since I started doing this full time in December. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!